Hey guys, Stock here from sakitech, and in today's video what we're going to do is we are going to be comparing the Samsung Galaxy 6 Classic, which is right over here, and the Samsung Galaxy Watch 5 Pro, which is right here. Now this one over here is the 45mm option, and this one here is the 47mm option. And interestingly, this one actually is more expensive at $450. This one is $430. So in this video, we're going to be looking at every aspect of these smartwatches and see exactly what has changed. We'll look at the battery, the display, the software, the performance. Now the format of this video is going to be as follows. First, we're going to look at what is similar, and second part of the video, we're going to look at what has changed. There actually is only a few things similar and many differences. And then at the end of the video, we're going to look at the conclusion, see whether you should upgrade, keep the one you have, or which one to choose between the two if this is your first time buying one of these watches. All right, the first thing that is pretty similar is the overall layout of these phones, and of course the software experience of these phones. So you can see they're both circular in design, and they both have a power button and a back button on the side, and of course on the rear they both have similar sensors for heart rate and all that good stuff. And if I go to the settings of these phones real quick, of these watches I mean, all the way at the bottom, if I go to About Watch, you can see that the software in fact is exactly the same. So software information right here, you can see it is exactly the same, One UI 5.0, One UI 5.0, and if I scroll down, we have the Wear OS 4.0 here and 4.0 here. So overall, they're exactly the same. You can see notifications on this side. If I pull down, we've got the quick toggles. I can go left and right, as you can see, to access more. I can tap the back button to go back home on either one of these guys. If I go this way, I get access to my tiles. So all that is the same. And also, you might have an older version of One UI running on your Watch 5 Pro, but it is going to get upgraded very soon. So everything is going to be a replica of each other as far as software is concerned. The next thing that's going to be the same is going to be the management of these watches with your smartphone. So right now, this one is connected here. You can see we have this control panel to control the watch using my smartwatch. And if I were to tap over here, you can see Watch 5 Pro is connected. If I switch over to Watch 6 Classic right here, I'm going to get the same exact screen when it comes to managing my watch with my smartphone using the Galaxy wearable app. So you can see I can go to watch faces. I can download all these watch faces. Both watches are going to have access to the exact same watch faces from this menu here and from the Play Store. Again, let me go back here so you can see it. If I go to Watch 5 Pro, this one over here, again, if I tap on watch faces, it is connected to my watch. It's going to be the same exact watch faces, okay? So completely similar software experience on both of these watches, both independently and with a smartphone. Now, one more thing, both of these watches are going to have the exact same IP68 water resistance. So wearing these out in the rain or even submerging them into the water is not a huge deal. And of course, when it comes to overall durability rating, they both confirm to the same durability standard. There's a small nuance in relation to that, which we're going to be talking about in a second. All right, so that is all the similarities. Now let's move on and talk about everything that is different. The first thing I want to quickly talk about actually has to do with this display. Now, because this is a 47mm version, and this is the 45mm version, the largest available, you can see the display on this guy is going to be, in fact, larger. In fact, this is a 1.5-inch display, and this is a 1.36-inch display, and also this display is going to be slightly brighter. So you get to see more, and it's also brighter, and the resolution is slightly crisper. So overall, the display has certainly improved. For me, the bigger, the better, especially on a watch. And just to give you guys a sense of scale with the display, we have the exact same watch face. You can see them side by side. In this one, you have a slightly larger view of the clock, which I think is very important. And also when you go to the settings or when you pull things down, it is just easier to see stuff on the display. But again, the difference is not that dramatic, but it is a notable change. All right, so another huge difference between these two watches. We now have the rotating bezel back, as you can see, which is something a lot of people were in fact looking forward to. Now we have that back and people are in fact very happy. Some people don't care, but this one does not have the rotating bezel. It does have a capacitive touch bezel, but based on the feedback I received, many people do not like that. They like the tactile feel of a physical rotating bezel that has been a staple of these Samsung watches for a while. Now the next thing that's important is the processor. So the Galaxy Watch 6 Classic now has a faster processor. We are looking at a W930 Exynos chip, and over here we have a W920 Exynos chip. And as I interact with the phone, I can tell you, even though this phone is quite snappy, this does feel smoother overall, and there's another reason for that. Let me show you what that is. If I go to the settings over here, okay, and if I scroll down to battery and device care on both of these guys, let's do the same thing over here as well. You can see this phone has 16 gigabytes of storage, just like this one, but this one has 2 gigabytes of RAM as opposed to this guy. So with the larger RAM and the faster processor, we are in fact looking at better performance with the Watch 6 Classic. Again, this is not slow by any means. This is just going to be 15 to 20% faster. Now, another huge difference is going to be the battery life. Believe it or not, the Watch 5 Pro actually has a larger battery than the Watch 6 Classic. So let me go to the settings. I want you guys to see exactly what I'm talking about. So in fact, if I go all the way down, go to About Watch, scroll again, and go to Battery Information, you can see we have a 425 milliamp hour battery. On this one, we have a much larger battery. Okay, so it is going to give you probably an extra day of charge. We have a 590 milliamp hours battery. So keep that in mind as you are trying to make a decision between these two smart watches. This is probably the biggest difference between the watches that might persuade somebody to go with the Watch 5 Pro as opposed to the Watch 6 Classic, or not upgrade from the Watch 5 to the Watch 6. All right, the next thing I want to talk about has to do with the build quality. So again, the Watch 5 Pro, the older model, has a better build quality. This is a titanium finish smartwatch. This one here is a stainless steel, which is also very high quality, but titanium is going to be better and also lighter. This is only 46.5 grams, while this is 59 grams. And you can see this one is actually thicker, but still, it's going to be lighter than this one because of titanium build. So we do have a downgrade in the build quality overall. Now, another huge difference here is the straps. So the way you change the straps has changed. On this one, we now have a push button latching system. On this one, we still have the spring bar latching system. So with this one, you have to pull this spring-loaded bar this way to pull it out. On this one, you can just press the button and just pull it out. They're both pretty easy, but this is just easier. However, I don't think this is a big deal because you have hundreds of straps available for either one of these smart watches. Either you get them from Samsung or you can get them from a third party. You can see in this one, I have a beautiful, genuine leather strap attached to the Watch 5 Pro. So both of these guys are going to have many strap options. This one just is going to be slightly easier to unlatch because of that push button system. Now the Watch 5 Pro also has another functionality that the Watch 6 Classic has discontinued on it, and that is the fact that you can download GPX files into your Watch 5 Pro and get step-by-step guidance for hiking and biking. But this is a very niche category for people that are serious about their workouts and love to track every angle of it. So GPX on the Watch 5, no GPX on the Watch 6. just so you know. Alright, so we have talked about just about everything here, and you can see the Galaxy Watch 6 Classic has a bunch of advantages and also a bunch of disadvantages. So first and foremost, it does have a better processor, it has more RAM, so that's better performance. It's got the rotating bezel that most people prefer. It has got a larger, brighter, and clearer screen that is not dramatically better, but it's still better. And it's got that push button latching system, which is a little bit easier for strap changing. But on the flip side, the Watch 5 Pro has a larger battery, it's got that titanium build, and it's got that GPX functionality. So here's a conclusion. If you already have a Watch 5 Pro, I do not think you need to upgrade. If you are in the market to shop between the two, I would go with the Watch 6 Classic unless you need a larger battery and maybe the GPX functionality. The Galaxy 6 Classic is the newer watch. It is the better watch. But the Watch 5 Pro already was so good that it's not really that far behind. So that's it. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, drop them down below. Let me know. For now, guys, have a fantastic day.